Rosalind Andra slammed the door of her Brooklyn apartment, her heart pounding as she clutched the crumpled letter from her mother, demanding she come home immediately or face being cut off forever. The words unnatural and disgrace burned into her mind, but what shattered her was the attached photo. One of her latest fashion sketches, a dress with interwoven rainbow threads that she'd never shown anyone in her family. In that instant, Rosalind realized her hidden life as a lesbian wasn't hidden anymore. Her own creations had outed her, and now the fragile world she'd built was crumbling. She crumpled to the floor, tears streaming down her face, replaying the last conversation with her girlfriend, Jamie, just hours ago. "We can't keep pretending," Jamie had said, her voice laced with frustration. "Your designs scream who you are. Why can't you?" But Rosalind had brushed it off, terrified of the fallout from a family already fractured by her father's mysterious disappearance 15 years earlier, and her mother's descent into alcoholism. Now with this letter, the choice was no longer hers. Growing up in suburban Connecticut, Rosalind had always been the good girl. Straight A's, captain of the debate team, and the one who held everything together after Dad vanished. One night he just didn't come home from work. The police found his car abandoned on a bridge, but no body, no note, nothing. Mom, once a vibrant elementary school teacher, shattered like glass. Bottles started appearing in the recycling bin, then hidden in cabinets, until they weren't hidden at all. Rosalind at 13 learned to cook dinner, pay bills with Mom's credit card, and lie to teachers about why her homework was late. But beneath that facade, Rosalind harbored a secret. Her crushes weren't on boys like her friends gushed about. It was girls, the way Sarah's laugh lit up the classroom, or how Emily's confidence made her stomach flip. She buried it deep, convinced it was a phase, a flaw she could fix. College at Parsons School of Design in New York City offered escape. There, amid sketches and fabrics, Rosalind met Jamie in a shared studio class. Jamie was bold, unapologetic, a graphic artist with tattoos peeking from her sleeves and a laugh that cut through the noise. Their first real conversation was over coffee after a late-night critique. "Your designs have soul," Jamie said, tracing a finger over Rosalind's sketch of a flowing gown with subtle, asymmetrical patterns that, if you looked closely, formed intertwined female silhouettes. Rosalind blushed, not just from the compliment, but from the spark in Jamie's eyes. They started as friends, study sessions turning into walks in Central Park, sharing dreams of launching their own lines. But one rainy evening, as they huddled under an awning, Jamie leaned in. "I see you, Rosalind. All of you." The kiss was electric, terrifying. Rosalind pulled back at first, whispering, "I can't. My family." But Jamie's persistence wore her down, and soon they were inseparable, though Rosalind insisted on secrecy. "Just until I figure things out," she'd say. Her designs became bolder, infused with hidden symbols. Necklaces shaped like linked Venus signs, fabrics with woven messages only the initiated would catch. It was her outlet, her silent rebellion. Back in the apartment, Rosalind's phone buzzed Jamie. She ignored it, her mind racing to the past. Mom had always been conservative, clinging to church and community after Dad's disappearance. "We have to be perfect," she'd slur after a few drinks. "No more scandals." Rosalind had nodded, swallowing her truth. But now, with her latest collection set to debut at a small gallery show, one of her sketches had somehow reached Mom. How? A leaked photo from a preview? A nosy relative? It didn't matter. The confrontation was inevitable. She finally answered Jamie's call. "What's wrong?" Jamie asked, sensing the panic. Rosalind spilled it all, her voice breaking. "She knows, Jamie. About us. About everything." There was a pause, then Jamie's firm response. "Then it's time to face it. Come out or lose me. I'm done hiding." Rosalind hung up, torn. The next day, she boarded a train to Connecticut, steeling herself for the storm. As the suburbs rolled by, she sketched furiously in her notebook. A dress with frayed edges, symbolizing her unraveling life. Little did she know, this trip would force choices that could shatter her family forever. Arriving at the old colonial house, Rosalind noticed the overgrown lawn and peeling paint, signs of neglect that mirrored Mom's decline. She knocked, and after a long wait, the door creaked open. Mom stood there, eyes bloodshot, a glass in hand. "You finally showed," she said, her voice a mix of anger and slur. Rosalind stepped inside, the familiar smell of stale whiskey hitting her like a wave. They sat in the living room surrounded by faded photos of happier times, Dad grinning with Rosalind on his shoulders. "How did you get that sketch?" Rosalind asked, cutting to the chase. Mom pulled out her phone, showing an email from Aunt Linda. She saw it on some fashion blog. Said it looked queer. "Is that what you are, Rosalinandra? Queer?" The word spat like venom. Rosalind's heart raced. "It's just art, Mom." But Mom wasn't buying it. "Art? With those symbols? I've looked them up. Lesbian pride crap. After everything, your father leaving us, me raising you alone, you do this." The argument escalated. Mom recounted the pain of Dad's disappearance. The endless searches, the rumors of an affair, the financial ruin that forced her to work 2 jobs. "I sacrificed everything for you to be normal," she yelled. Rosalind fired back. "Normal? You mean straight? I've been hiding who I am because of you. Your drinking, your judgments." It was the first time Rosalind had voiced it aloud. Mom's face crumpled, but she doubled down. "If you're that way, you're no daughter of mine." Rosalind stormed out, driving to a nearby motel. That night Jamie called again. "How did it go?" Rosalind recounted the fight, ending with, "I can't lose her, Jamie. She's all I have left." Jamie sighed. "But you're losing yourself. And me." The tension built. Jamie had an ultimatum brewing, but Rosalind wasn't ready. Back in New York, she threw herself into work, refining her collection. The debut was in 2 weeks, and she decided to tone down the symbols, make it safe. But Jamie noticed. "You're censoring yourself," she accused during a heated dinner. "For what? A drunk who can't accept you." Their relationship strained. Jamie started pulling away, accepting invites to events without Rosalind. One night, Rosalind found Jamie's phone buzzing with messages from an ex. Flirty, suggestive. "It's nothing," Jamie said when confronted. "But if you're not all in, why should I be?" The betrayal stung, a preview of deeper hurts. Rosalind's inner conflict raged. Come out and risk family rejection, or stay hidden and lose Jamie. Society's whispers didn't help. Friends at work shared stories of disowned LGBTQ+ relatives, job discriminations. Rosalind attended a support group anonymously, hearing tales that mirrored her fears. Meanwhile, Mom called repeatedly, leaving voicemails oscillating between pleas and threats. "Come home, we can fix this." Then, "Don't bother if you're choosing that lifestyle." Rosalind ignored them, but guilt gnawed. She visited a therapist, unpacking the trauma of Dad's vanishing, how it made her crave stability, avoid risks. "Hiding your identity is a risk too," the therapist said. "It's eroding your soul." Rosalind nodded, but action felt impossible. As the gallery show approached, Rosalind made a decision. She'd keep the original designs, symbols and all. It was a small act of defiance, but one that could change everything. Invites went out, including one to Mom. A test, a olive branch? Jamie approved, their bond tentatively mending. But whispers spread. A conservative client pulled out, citing controversial themes. The pressure mounted, forcing Rosalind to question if authenticity was worth the cost. The night before the show, Rosalind received a bombshell. A private investigator's report, hired by Mom years ago, revealing Dad hadn't disappeared. He'd left for another woman, starting a new family in California. Mom had known, hidden it to protect Rosalind. The revelation shattered Rosalind's illusions. "All these years you lied," she confronted Mom over the phone. "And now you judge me?" Mom broke down. "I was ashamed. Like you'll be if you go public." The call ended in tears, but seeds of doubt planted. Began with Rosalind pacing her studio, the report clutched in her hand like a grenade. How could Mom keep this from her? Dad alive with a new life, half-siblings she never knew. Rage boiled, mixed with sorrow for the lost years. She called Jamie, who rushed over. "This changes everything," Jamie said, holding her. "Your mom's been projecting her pain onto you." For the first time, Rosalind considered forgiveness, but betrayal lingered. The gallery show dawned chaotic. Guests mingled under string lights, oohing over Rosalind's pieces. Dresses with bold lines, hidden motifs that whispered empowerment. Jamie stood by her side, their fingers brushing discreetly. Then Mom arrived unannounced, dressed in her Sunday best, eyes clear for once, no drink in sight. Rosalind's stomach dropped. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, pulling her aside. "I came to see," Mom said, voice steady. "And to talk." They stepped into a back room, tension thick. Mom admitted the lie. "Your father cheated, left us broke. I couldn't bear you knowing he chose them over us." Rosalind exploded. "So you let me think he was dead? And now you want me to hide who I am, like you hid the truth." Mom's eyes filled with tears. "I was wrong. But this lifestyle, it'll destroy you. Society isn't kind." The confrontation spilled into the main room when a guest, a prominent buyer, overheard and chimed in. "Society's changing. Your daughter's talent shines because of her authenticity." Mom bristled, defending traditional values, sparking a debate among attendees. Jamie intervened. "Love isn't a lifestyle, it's who we are." Mom turned to Rosalind. "Is this her? The one in your sketches?" Rosalind nodded, heart pounding. "Yes. I love her." Mom's face twisted, shock, hurt, then a flicker of resignation. She left abruptly, leaving Rosalind reeling. The show was a success, sales pouring in, but the victory felt hollow. Jamie celebrated with her that night, but Rosalind's mind wandered to Mom, alone in that house. Days later, a package arrived. Old family photos with a note from Mom. "I need time. But I'm trying." Hope sparked, but so did doubt. Jamie's patience waned. "She's manipulating you," she said during an argument. "Choose, us or her games." Rosalind defended Mom. "She's family. Broken but family." The rift deepened when Jamie confided she'd reconnected with her ex for support. "Nothing happened," she swore, but trust cracked. Rosalind's design suffered. Her next line lacked passion, reviewers noting the safety. Social pressures amplified. At a networking event, Rosalind overheard colleagues gossiping. Talented, but that gay vibe might limit her. A potential investor pulled back, citing brand alignment. Rosalind faced a moral quandary. Tone down her identity for success, or embrace it and risk failure. She chose the latter, incorporating overt pride elements in a new collection. Jamie approved, but their relationship teetered. Then betrayal struck. Rosalind discovered Jamie had shared her sketches with a rival designer. Innocently, she claimed, for feedback. But the rival launched a similar line first, crediting inspiration from emerging talents. Accusations flew. "You sabotaged me," Rosalind yelled. Jamie countered. "You were hesitating. I pushed you." The fight ended with Jamie storming out, slamming the door on their future. Alone, Rosalind confronted her therapist. "Everyone leaves, Dad, now Jamie. Is it me?" The session unearthed deep wounds. Abandonment fears fueling her secrecy. She decided to track down Dad, hiring her own investigator. Weeks later, an address in LA. The trip was impulsive, a desperate bid for closure. Landing in California, Rosalind stood before a modest ranch house. Dad opened the door, older but unmistakable. "Rosalind Andra," he gasped. Tears flowed as he explained. "The affair, the guilt, the fresh start. I thought you'd be better without me," Rosalind raged. "You abandoned us." Mom drank herself numb. He apologized, introducing his wife and kids, her half-siblings, wide-eyed teens. The meeting was bittersweet. Forgiveness tentative, but it freed something in Rosalind. Returning to New York, she called Mom, sharing the encounter. "He regrets it," Rosalind said. Mom sobbed. "I should have told you." The conversation turned to Rosalind's truth. "I'm gay, Mom. And I'm done hiding." Silence then. "I don't understand, but I love you." It wasn't acceptance but a start. Opened with Rosalind rebuilding. New apartment, fresh designs, unapologetically bold. But Jamie's absence ached. She reached out, but Jamie had moved on, dating someone new. The pain was raw, a price for her indecision. "I waited too long," Rosalind admitted to friends. Society's lens sharpened. Media coverage of her out collection brought praise from LGBTQ+ communities, but backlash from conservatives, Online trolls lost contracts. Family dynamics shifted. Mom visited New York sober for months attending AA. Their talks were tense but honest. Why hide it? Mom asked. Rosalind explained the fear. The internalized shame from a judgmental world. Mom shared her own regrets. Marrying young, ignoring red flags with Dad. I projected my failures onto you. Bonds mended slowly but not without setbacks. Mom slipped once, calling during a relapse. This is my fault. Rosalind rushed home, helping her through detox, confronting the cycle of pain. Professionally, Rosalind faced a dilemma. A major brand offered partnership, but demanded neutral designs, no queer symbols. It's business, they said. Rosalind weighed it. Financial security versus integrity. She declined, choosing a smaller, inclusive label. The decision cost her stability. Bills piled up, but earned respect in niche circles. Personal growth came through activism. Rosalind joined Pride events, speaking on panels about family rejection and self-acceptance. There she met Riley, a confident lawyer but hesitated, scars from Jamie fresh. Not ready, she told herself, but Riley's persistence echoed Jamie's, forcing Rosalind to confront patterns, pushing away love to avoid hurt. A turning point. Mom attended a pride parade with Rosalind, awkwardly waving a flag. I'm learning, she said. Tears mingled with laughter. But shadows loomed. Dad reached out more, inviting Rosalind to visit. She went, building bridges, but sensed his new family's unease. We're traditional, his wife hinted. Rosalind left feeling the weight of divided loyalties. Back home, a scandal erupted. A tabloid exposed Dad's past abandonment, linking it to Rosalind's lifestyle as family curse. Mom defended her publicly. My daughter's brave, unlike her father. The statement went viral, sparking debates on forgiveness and identity. Rosalind's sales surged, but privacy invaded stalkers' hate mail. Internally, Rosalind battled depression. Is happiness worth this chaos? Therapy helped, emphasizing choices' costs. She designed a piece for Mom. A scarf with family motifs, subtle pride weaves. Gifting it, Rosalind said. We both hid truths. Time to live openly. Mom wore it proudly, a symbol of progress. As high as lows, Rosalind faced a moral crossroads. A friend outed another's secret orientation, causing fallout. Was it right? The friend asked. Rosalind, reflecting her journey, advised. No, let them choose. But hypocrisy nagged. Her designs had inadvertently outed her. Intensified with Rosalind receiving anonymous threats. Emails decrying her agenda. Fear gripped her. She installed security, withdrew socially. Jamie resurfaced, apologizing. I was hurt, acted stupidly. Reconciliation tempted, but Rosalind saw the toxicity. We both paid prices. Yours was betrayal. They parted as friends, a painful but necessary closure. Family tested further. Aunt Linda, the one who'd forwarded the sketch, visited, spewing homophobia. It's against God. Mom, empowered, kicked her out. Family supports or leaves. The acts solidified their bond, but isolated Mom from relatives. Worth it for you, she told Rosalind. Professionally, a breakthrough. A celebrity wore her design to an awards show, praising its message. Opportunities flooded, but with strings, interviews probing personal life. Rosalind navigated, sharing selectively, aware of exploitation. A deeper conflict arose. Riley confessed feelings, but Rosalind discovered Riley's firm represented anti-LGBTQ+ clients. It's work, Riley said. Rosalind challenged. How can you defend hate? The argument exposed moral divides. They broke off, leaving Rosalind questioning if love could coexist with compromise. Society's mirror reflected harshly. A local bill threatened LGBTQ+ rights. Rosalind protested, arrested briefly for civil disobedience. Mom bailed her out, proud. You're fighting what I couldn't. The experience awakened Mom to broader injustices, joining support groups. But damage accrued. Rosalind's health suffered, stress-induced migraines, insomnia. This is the price, she told her therapist. Reflection led to a pivotal choice. Scale back activism for self-care, or push harder. She chose balance, launching a mentorship program for young queer designers. Dad's side complicated matters. A half-sibling reached out, curious but conflicted. Dad says you're different. Rosalind educated gently, planting seeds. The interaction highlighted generational shifts, but also enduring prejudices. As tensions peaked, Mom revealed a secret. She'd known about Rosalind's orientation years ago, from a high school diary. I ignored it, hoping it'd go away. The admission was a gut punch. Another layer of betrayal. You let me suffer alone? Rosalind cried. Forgiveness came slowly through shared therapy sessions. Culminated in Rosalind's biggest show yet. A runway event in Manhattan, themed Unveiled Truths. Designs told her story. Frayed fabrics for loss, bold colors for rebirth. Jamie attended as a guest, offering closure. Mom walked the front row, sober and beaming. Dad surprised everyone by showing his presence a tentative olive branch. Mid-show, a protester disrupted. Sinful. Security escorted them out, but the incident shook Rosalind. Backstage, she confronted her fears. I've lost so much love, privacy, peace. Yet applause thundered, affirming her path. Post-show, family gathered. Dad apologized fully. I was a coward. Mom admitted her enabling. Rosalind declared. We've all made choices, some wrong, some right. But we're here. Bonds strengthened, though imperfect. Romantically, Rosalind opened to new possibilities, dating cautiously. Society's acceptance grew, but battles remained. Her final design. A gown with mirrored panels reflecting the wearer's truth. In the end, Rosalind stood stronger, scars as badges. But one question lingered, sparking endless debate. Was hiding her true self to protect her family the right choice, or did it only prolong the inevitable pain?